You're easy. Hello, Jennifer. Hello, Eric. How are you doing?
Doing good, doing good. How are you?
Good, considering. And I missed you. It's been quite a while since we talked.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I know. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you.
Let's see. I got to check my lipstick because you taught me this whole thing. My mother never taught me that. So I go around with lipstick on my cheeks. But
Yes.
anyway, that's to the side. All right, guys. While you're sitting here, please click on subscribe, please, because you're going to like it. You know you are. We're going to talk today about spiritual DNA, and Jennifer and I really don't know anything about it, but I heard somebody mention it. Hello, Eric, my love. I love you very much, and thank you for nudging me to yell out one last time for help so that I was rescued by the Red Cross.
Yes, he says you're welcome. It was not your time, and so I was going to make sure that you were found, and I love you.
Oh, sweetie. All right, so can you tell us about spiritual DNA?
Um, I'm sorry, Lisa, your audio cut all out there.
Oh, really? Let me check my, what am I on? I don't know. Eric, can you tell us about spiritual DNA and its importance?
Okay. Yeah, he said he's actually like, I can tell you a little bit about it because there's so much to it. There's so much to it that like it can't be comprehended fully by humans. But spiritual DNA is it's our soul, it's our soul makeup. It's like DNA for humans. It's who we are on a soul level. It's every experience, everything we've ever learned. It's all like wired into the spiritual DNA. And he says you actually, every time you incarnate, you take all of your spiritual DNA with you. You just don't have access to all of it.
Hence the spiritual amnesia, right?
Yes. Yeah, he's almost like he says it's almost like for anybody who's familiar with the Akashic records.
Oh, yeah.
Spiritual DNA has a similar energy, so to speak. It's like everything that was, will be, is. It's kind of all in your spiritual DNA for your soul, not for everything.
Oh, what's the difference between the two? Are the Akashic records for everyone, every living creature, and the spiritual
Yes.
DNA is just your book in the records? Okay.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a section of it. But yeah, the Akashic records are for everything that was, is, and will be.
All right. What about source, God? Does he, she, it have a spiritual DNA?
Yes, I'm sorry. The audio really is bad. I got that though. I think what you're asking is, does God have the spiritual DNA?
Yeah. Man, you're coming in loud and clear, so it must be me.
It'll be fine, and then you freeze up and it's all choppy, the voice and stuff, but then it'll be fine. It's fine right now. But yes, he said God, source, whatever you want to call it, the universe. Yes, the spiritual DNA exists there.
All right. What's it made from?
Nothing tangible. He says nothing. It's energy. It's energy, experiences, knowledge.
Okay.
Nothing actually tangible like human DNA.
Oh yeah.
Because we don't have the physical body outside of the soul. So even though we bring it here with us, it's like a dream. He said it's real but not real, tangible but not tangible.
Does our higher self have access to it?
Yes. Yeah, and he says that's kind of like a trick question, because yes, our higher self does have access to it, but unfortunately as humans we do not have access to everything our higher self knows. So even though you can sit and you can do a reading or you can do a meditation or you can connect to your higher self, you still won't be able to access all the information that the higher self has.
Could you access it in like a quantum healing session where you're taken to the fifth or whatever dimension, or not?
Yeah. Yes, you absolutely could. And in that state, and in a meditative state, if you're able to get there yourself, you could access it deeper, but he said never fully, never fully
Ah,
in the
well, what
human
would be the
form.
advantage to accessing it in like a quantum healing state or a meditative state where you are in the fifth, I think, dimension?
Okay, so what he says is that uh, it's actually very good for healing. If you can access some of that information, especially if you're really struggling with like a certain pattern in your life or certain, we all know people or ourselves experience things over and over again. It's like, why do I keep getting into these situations? He said, actually tapping into the spiritual DNA is very good there, because when we have patterns like that, he says most often it's not just from this one lifetime.
Mm.
So to be able to access the spiritual DNA, to have information from a past life in regards to that situation, could help heal it, and help you learn currently.
Cool. Why do they call it DNA? Does it get passed down from our ancestors, those we participated with in other lives, things like that?
Not necessarily. What he's saying is it's more like if you think of every other life that you've had as being an ancestor to who you are now.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
so not necessarily like the ancestors you've had in this lifetime, but every previous life that you had is an ancestor to you and who you are now. It's like that's the line. It's like that type of DNA, the spiritual DNA, he says, stays with that soul.
I got you.
Like it's in that soul.
So
Um,
what if like diabetes or mental illness runs in your family? There's no way to alter the spiritual DNA. I mean, there's no connection. You know,
the connection, he says, what the connection would be is if you've experienced that in another life.
okay.
So if you have diabetes in this lifetime and you've experienced it some other time, yes, it would be in the spiritual DNA. But if this is the first time you've experienced it, it would not be in the previous
Okay.
DNA.
So if your parents had high blood pressure and you get high blood pressure, that genetic DNA has absolutely no relationship to the spiritual DNA?
Yeah, actually, yeah, he says for some things it has no relation this time,
Ah,
but like when you experience it here, then it goes into your spiritual DNA. Yes.
oh,
So yeah,
I see.
not everything that happens physically to us is part of our spiritual DNA yet. Some of it might be, but some of it may be a new experience that once we leave this life, then it's in our spiritual DNA.
So you can't like go to the Akashic records and take that, look at that spiritual DNA, and maybe it has ties to other people that you were in other lives, or you realize you just can't click, 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 and stop the pattern?
Well, he says there's always ways to stop patterns, but that's through lessons and learning.
Dang it. Fair.
Yes. That's how you stop patterns and stuff, is through lessons and learning, not going into the Akashic records and altering things.
So is there any way to alter your spiritual DNA?
Okay, so not, and this is where it gets tricky because of how the time, like they don't have really the time that we have over there.
Oh, yeah.
But what he's yes, new experiences alters and changes the DNA because there's more lessons and more growth and stuff. So yes, with every experience and every lifetime we have, we change and adapt the DNA, so to speak.
Oh, so
Yes.
suppose you have a pattern from one life to the next of depression and possibly suicide. So that is part of your spiritual DNA. What could be done to stop that pattern in this life, this incarnation?
Yeah. So what he's saying about this is that some stuff that happens, it's like, and this goes along with the same thing. Everybody has cell memory.
Yeah.
So, for instance, if you're somebody who works out a lot, and then you stop working out, and then you pick it up again, your cells are like, oh yeah, I remember this. I've done this before, and they adjust quickly.
That's true.
And so he said there is a similar phenomenon that happens when a soul comes back into a physical body, that there's cell memories. So if you were somebody who in your previous life maybe really struggled with drug addiction,
Yeah.
then you kind of get back into a physical body, and sometimes just that soul being back in a physical body can be like, oh right, when I was in the body last time, this is what I did, and draw us to those same things. Yes.
That's awesome.
So in a sense, it is part of the spiritual DNA. Yeah. And what he was saying about changing it is like, you can't go back and take anything out of the spiritual DNA that's already there.
Okay.
But through your experiences and the lifetimes that you live, you can alter and change it.
Okay. Like, how would you change that one, for example? How would you alter it so that the pattern doesn't go on to the next of drug addiction or alcoholism, doesn't go to the next life or the rest of that particular life?
Yeah. So by stopping the pattern in that life, by getting help for the addiction, this sort of thing, basically defeating whatever the issue is, learning what you've come to learn and putting it behind you.
Oh,
moving forward.
I just want laser therapy, man. Just I got those genes. Boom. The spirit genes. Get rid of it.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. It would be so much easier that way. It would be so much easier. But on souls, he said, like over here, where he is, he said, we don't want to be easy. We like the challenge, but as humans in the physical body, it's so much more miserable than the idea of it seems over here. So
yeah, so
that's part of what happens to us.
Do you in spirit have full access to your spiritual DNA?
Yes.
So if you have access there, can't you manipulate it, or?
Well, there would be no need to. There would be no need to, because he says when you look at it, it's like you look at it. Well, for one, you look at it with loving, like what we would call loving eyes. So every experience that you had, no matter how difficult they were in the human form, you're grateful for over here.
I see.
So you would not want to change it.
I got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So much more knowledge over there.
Oh, just give me a memo. So what about the biology of belief? You know, if your thoughts can change you and your cells physically, like you can think your way out of diabetes, I guess. You can pretty much do anything, right?
Okay. Yes. So
that sounds like a very qualified yes.
Well, yeah, there's definitely more to come. Yes, that all of those things are possible. However, not everybody, we'll just stick with diabetes since that's what we're talking about. Not everybody with diabetes right now on earth is capable of thinking their way out of it or healing themselves from it. And that goes for everything. Yes, there are.
It's possible that they would be able to do it. They just don't know how, or not, I don't know, not strong enough.
Right. Yes. And that's why it's not, in theory, the possibility's there, but yes. So the human body, if you say one person can cure themselves from diabetes, that means every human body has the capability of doing it.
Yeah.
But that's really not the reality of.
easier said than done. And
Yes,
especially if it's a spiritual contract for you to have that, then
exactly.
then does that make it impossible to change with your thoughts because you signed up for that?
Yes, like if you have come in to a life and you've said, okay, I am going to live this life with diabetes and then I am going to eventually die from diabetes,
Woohoo!
then there's not any changing that, because to
Yeah,
change that would be to not learn the lessons that you came to learn.
yeah. And a lot of somebody told me, I think Erik said that a lot of people have diabetes because they can't digest the sweetness of life. I think it's very profound. I don't. I'm
Yeah,
sure it's not the case with every diabetic, but
I
it's
like that.
fascinating.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I like
me
that.
too. Me too. Um, so your beliefs can't really change your spiritual DNA. It can only change it from in the future. I mean, from that point forward, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay. What else can you tell us about spiritual DNA, Erik?
What he just said is it's what makes us individuals.
Ah.
Um, so just like here, but he said there isn't anything like what you guys have for identical twins.
Mm.
How like on Earth identical twins have the same DNA. He said no souls over here have the same DNA.
Wow. So it's like fingerprints
Yes.
and snowflakes. No two are alike.
Yes.
Very unique. All right, what is
Yep.
God's spiritual DNA like? Is it the same as the collective's spiritual
Yes.
DNA, or
Yes. Yep.
and,
It would be the collective spiritual DNA of all the other souls.
and what creates sources collectives DNA? The experiences of the collective. I mean,
Yes.
how is that
It's like
different than the
it's not.
individual?
He says it's really not. It's the collective conscious. It's not different. It's the
Okay,
same. It's the same.
is it like, okay, went through World War II as a collective, and that is a collective experience that's in the collective spiritual DNA? Or is it like, oh, Joe Blow has diabetes, so and so has suicidal tendencies, blah blah blah, all lumped together? What is it?
Okay, so I really tried to get all that, but you cut out, and I could
Oh,
not piece enough together
I'm
to understand what
sorry.
you asked.
Okay,
It's
let's.
okay.
Oh, hate this. I'm gonna have to restart my computer after we finish. And I'm almost finished. God's source, the collective
Shoot.
spiritual DNA. Can you hear me? Do you hear me
I
now?
I don't know if you can hear me,
I hear
but
you.
your screen is frozen and I can't hear you.
Okay. Oh, now? Can you hear me?
I I can, yes, you're still frozen and your voice is a little broken up. Oh, there you are.
Oh God. All right. So the collective slash sources spiritual DNA, is that like, okay, we experienced World War II and that is an experience that goes into the spiritual DNA? Or is it Joe Blow has diabetes, Jane Doe has, problems with depression? Um,
It's how Erik is like putting it is that it's not so like it happens all in a
okay.
bigger scale. It's and it happens effortlessly. He said it just kind of all goes in there effortlessly.
Okay.
So it's not like this specific detail that just happens.
Okay. Good. All right. Do you have anything else to say, Erik? I want Jennifer to tell us about the exciting event she and Jamin are going to have in my house. But first, do you have anything else to say, sweetie?
um just yes, he does.
Of course.
um he says that you are so brave. um Sorry, I'm actually getting a little choked up,
Oh, I'm sorry.
which will happen to me from time to
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
um that he was with you the whole time
I know.
and that you did so well
Mm.
and he loves you.
Oh, well, I gave up after 10 hours, really. But, I tried so hard to last as long as I could. But
Yeah, you did phenomenal. See, he says you were back and forth.
yeah,
You
yeah,
were, I don't know if you remember
yeah,
that, but you were
yeah,
surrounded by angels. You were encompassed
yeah.
partially into
I
the other
saw,
side.
yeah, I
It's how
saw.
you made it as long as you did. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, y'all, I'm going to volunteer with the Red Cross. My husband and I. It's going to be awesome. And I hope you guys volunteer or give to your local Red Cross chapter. So Jennifer, you guys can get in touch with her at psychicmediumjenniferdoran.com, and I'll put it here somewhere. And Jennifer, tell us about your event.
Yes. So Jamin and I will be doing an event. I believe it's October 4th, 5th, and 6th.
Yes,
It might be the 3rd, 4th, and 5th. I can't think. 4th, 5th,
it
and 6th.
is.
Is that what it is?
It is.
Okay. So it'll be at your house.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be depression and anxiety. I will be channeling Erik, answering questions from Erik. I have, I think we did 10 private sessions that are available to be booked with me. I think that there's like 5 or 6 of those left as well. It's going
Wow,
to be
they're
a
going
lot of
fast.
fun. It'll be a good time.
It always is. Always life changing. Everybody leaves these events
Yes.
completely transformed.
Yep. And
And
with
there
lifelong friends.
are remote tickets on sale too, so that's good.
Oh, yes. Yes.
And I don't
Yes.
profit from this. I just offer my house so the ticket prices can be lower. That's all I do. So hope you guys can come. All right. Thank you. I love you, Erik. I
Thank
love you,
you.
Jennifer.
I love you. Love you.
Bye.
Bye.